YouTube pissing me off right now, deleting a bunch of my old videos, including this one, my most favorite video perhaps of all time on TFBTV, my original Beretta 1301 review at Thunder Ranch, 1100 round burn down. YouTube deleted this video because it had an offensive link in the description. That is a link to Primary Arms, and ooh, Primary Arms sells guns. YouTube deletes the video, and I've gone back and forth with them for the better part of a year trying to get them to reinstate the video. Just delete the description, delete that part, delete the whole description, I don't give a shit, and republish the video because it's got like 2 million views. It's got a bunch of links to it, but instead I'm getting people emailing me, James, where's your 1301 video? Dead links and all these websites that reposted it. So it sucks, like it really sucks for us. So I'm re-uploading this video. I know it's not gonna be nearly as popular as it used to be because this is a re-upload, but I ask, even if you've seen this video before already, do me a favor, watch it again, thumbs up, like, subscribe, consider supporting us. We're independent. Beretta did not pay us to make this video at subscribestar.com/TFBTV. Sorry about the reload. Sorry YouTube sucks. Love you guys. Enjoy the video.
Move! Ready, up!
Beretta doesn't sponsor this channel. I just called them out of the blue because I needed a shotgun to review and because I like those guys. Mostly Eric, because he balls pretty hard. I asked if there's any way I could get them to send me a Benelli M4 because everyone knows the Benelli M4 is the best shotgun on earth, best shotgun ever made, used by the US Marine Corps and pretty much every special operations unit on the planet, from a country where women are allowed to speak in public. So Beretta, most likely because they didn't realize that I've got 1 million subscribers, said that Benelli didn't have any M4s lying around that I could use, but they could send me the Beretta 1301, or as I was calling it, the Benelli M4 from Wish.com. Turns out I was wrong. The Benelli M4 may not be the best shotgun on earth. In fact, I think the best shotgun that money can buy right now is the Beretta 1301, and I've got both of them. So let me tell you the story about how I came to this conclusion, but before we get there, let's do the usual specs and features rundown. Today we're specifically discussing the Beretta 1301 Tactical OD Green SKU number J131T18G. There was a first generation of this gun which was not as well received as this new second generation, but I won't get into those details because this video is going to be long enough as is because I got a whole lot to say about this 12 bore. First of all, the 1301 has an 18.5-inch barrel with a 3-inch chamber. It uses the Beretta Optima Choke HP, which you don't care about because you can't afford 12 gauge right now, and even if you could, you're only going to be shooting it at trash piles on BLM land anyways, so calm your tits. It weighs a mere 6.4 pounds, thanks in no small part to its aluminum receiver. This is a full 2 pounds lighter than the Benelli M4. On top of that, the 1301 has a $13.50 MSRP, while the M4 will set you back $1,900. Side note, I may reference the M4 here and there throughout this video, but I'm going to make a direct head-to-head comparison video of both guns so you can decide which one's better for you down the road. Let the record reflect at this time that they're both great shotguns with pros and cons that I plan on going over on a later date. It has a short 13-inch length of pull, giving it an overall length of 38 inches, and a lot of these pictures, video stuff that I was posting from Thunder Ranch and social media, people were asking me, James, is that actually a short-barreled shotgun? No, it's not, and in a way, it's a little bit like the crying game of shotguns, deceiving. It looks like an SBS, it feels like an SBS, it handles like an SBS, but when the lights go out, it surprises you when you discover that it in fact, has full-length shotgun hardware. Point being, it is a pretty tight little package, pun intended, but it does come with a couple of spacers just in case you want to stretch out that length of pull. It has a factory capacity of 4 or 5 2 3/4 shells, but as I discovered, especially if you're using ammo made overseas, some shells that are labeled 2 3/4 are actually closer to 3 inches. In any event, I got the Nordic Components Plus 2 extension, which also gets you a little bit of Picatinny rail for a light, and a QD sling cup that I outfitted with my favorite sling, that is the Blue Force Gear Vickers sling. The Nordic extension is, like most 1301 accessories, hard to come by. So I had to pay over MSRP from some scalper piece of shit on eBay. So thank you for shipping this item out to me so quickly, and go f yourself. A plus seller, would buy from again. It uses the Beretta Blink gas system. I took the gun apart and couldn't figure out how it worked or how something so simple would work so well. And honestly, I still don't know how it works, but here's a video from Beretta that has 3 million views, meaning that there are 3 million other people who are just as dumb as I am and want to figure out how the magic happens under that handguard. According to Beretta, the system cycles 36% faster than other semi-auto shotguns, and I believe it. They also claim that the design of the system is self-cleaning, and I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt on that one as well. But we'll talk about how reliable this gas system was in just a moment. The 18.5-inch barrel is cold hammer forged and features ghost ring sights with protective ears on the front and rear sight. It also has a small piece of Picatinny rail on the top of the receiver for mounting a red dot optic, which I did. In fact, I used a Burris Fastfire for the duration of the course, and I'm also planning on doing a video on that shortly. The 1301's made in Italy, the country that also brought us pepperoni, spaghetti, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Super Mario, other completely awesome things, even though they sound kind of funny when you say I'm in a fake Italian accent. But anyways, back to the story. I've taken plenty of pistol courses, plenty of carbine courses, but I've never taken a shotgun course. Accordingly, I opted for the shotgun course at Thunder Ranch this past April. What's more is that we were going to shoot over 1,000 rounds of half birdshot, half buckshot, and even a few slugs through this thing at 100 yards. This was going to be quite the torture test, and I was pretty sure that the 1301 wasn't going to make it through. In fact, if I'm being honest, which I always am, I kind of wanted it to fail, so as usual, I didn't clean it or lubricate it after I picked it up from my FFL. Speaking of, when my FFL called me, they said that they had an oddly good-looking green shotgun for me. I thought green was kind of ugly when I was looking at the pictures of the 1301 on the website, but green is my favorite color, so I went with it anyways. And man, it looks so good in person. In fact, so much so that every single shooter that saw it, that handled it or whatever, they complimented how good the green looks. It just looks better in real life than on the website. So I called my dogs at Ventura Munitions, and believe it or not, guys, they do have ammo in stock right now, even though it's not on their website, so call them. They sent me 1,100 rounds of shotgun ammo for the tactical shotgun course, and I begrudgingly stuffed this thing into my checked baggage. To Thunder Ranch we went. I'm also going to do a video on the course, which was run by Jack Daniel, not Daniels, but he's one of the main instructors up there, and he's also definitely in my top 5 baddest motherfuckers alive list. One of the other guys on that list would be, of course, Clint Smith, who personally handled this course for me. Clint's a legendary shotgun instructor and a great American. In addition to a video about the class, I'm also going to do a video about my complete setup, like my rig for the course, as well as shotgun tactics. But to prevent this video from running too long, we're focusing only on the performance of the 1301 right now. I'd say running a tactical shotgun is a little bit like owning a pet grizzly bear. It's powerful, it's hungry, and if you don't know what you're doing, it won't be very cooperative. Shotgun day one was a humbling experience for me, I have to say that. Again, it was my first course. It was tough. In my opinion, after reliability, I learned the second most important feature of a shotgun is ease of loading. As Beretta said, this shotgun shoots quickly. Shotguns that shoot quickly run out of ammo quickly. Obviously, keeping a shotgun topped up is a chore in and of itself, and I mean it's physically demanding. I found, however, that the Beretta excels at what I'm going to call reloadability. The factory handguards even have a little channel that runs along the side that not only helps with your grip, but it serves as an indexing point for sliding shells into the chamber if you need it. The charging handle's large, but it doesn't really get in the way, and the oversized triangular safety is easy to manipulate between drills. But hands down, what I learned was the best and possibly most important feature of this shotgun was the bolt release. The 1301 has a large lever right under and in front of the ejection port that's ergonomically perfect. You jam around in there for a combat reload, smash the thing, and you are in business faster than anyone else on the line. It was amazing. In Clint's course, there's a heavy focus on reloading, getting lots of reps of reloading.
Up! Now cycle.
Good. Keep it loaded. Okay. Keep it loaded. Good. Good. Now load it all the way.
This is important because, again, shooting a shotgun is an order of magnitude easier than actually keeping it topped off.
Shoot now.
Load, John, load. Load, James, load, load, load.
Come on, ready? Up! Now load, because you're empty.
Oh,
Day one was snowing, it was cold, and even though I am a member of the most powerful race on the face of the earth, that is Florida men, snow is our only weakness and the third leading killer of Florida men, right behind drunk jet skiing and falling off the roof. If you try to sustain a non-stop tempo of firing and loading, firing, loading, firing and loading, double-aught buck, your hands are going to get cramped. It sucks. The cold doesn't help, and after a few minutes of shooting, loading, shooting, loading, shooting, loading, it's like your reloading hands turn into little wooden pegs, and you start dropping ammo all over the place. It's kind of embarrassing. Can the 1301 stop you from doing that? Obviously not, but it does make loading very easy, especially the combat load, and I found the 1301 easier to combat reload than an M4. As I discovered, again, that's really important with a shotgun. But the most important thing for any gun, of course, is reliability. How reliable was this gun? I'd say very. Using 2 3/4 inch birdshot, not one single malfunction during the entire course. For that matter, we didn't have a single malfunction with any rounds until about the 600 or 700 round mark, and that's when the Beretta started needing like a little bump on the charging handle or even to press the bolt release to kind of finish the job of loading those 3-inch double-aught buck shells in there.
Up! Manage your own ammo, your problem, not mine.
Clint actually sprayed a little line of CLP onto the bolt carrier group, and after that, no more malfunctions for the rest of the time we were there. The main takeaway is that with 2 3/4 inch shells, there's enough runway to reliably feed everything. With 3-inch shells, things get a little tight, and you need to make sure the gun's lubed up after, like, especially high round counts, so the friction of chambering the round doesn't overcome the force of the returning bolt. But I can't overstate how brutal our treatment of this shotgun was. In 1.5 days, that was 2 morning sessions and an afternoon session, we ran 1,100 rounds of shotgun ammo through this gun back to back to back to back.
that's a wrap.
Even at the end of it, we were taking turns during the last session just to keep the rate of fire going. The gun got so hot that you couldn't touch the receiver near the butt end of the barrel. So every few minutes, we would have to stop, we'd grab a big chunk of snow, and we'd actually rub it over the barrel and the receiver to cool the shotgun down. This pattern of rapid firing, rapid cooling eventually turned the OD green Cerakoting on the barrel black, kind of near the receiver end. What I'm trying to say is we treated this gun like absolute dog shit, and it performed admirably. Of course, while you'd like to see 0 malfunctions, I think that the level of abuse that this gun was served, coupled with the fact that it had not been lubricated from the factory since day one or cleaned after the first day of shooting, and it had no malfunctions the first day of shooting, I'm not sure that any other semi-automatic shotgun, perhaps other than the Benelli M4, could have performed as reliably. Semi-automatic shotguns are notorious for failing for any reason at any time, and that wasn't the case with the Beretta. It ran perfectly until it got gummed up. I guess the third most important factor, shootability. Accuracy, follow-up shots, recoil management. I mean, it's a shotgun. You're not talking about a precision long gun here. So the main focus really should be on sights and recoil. The funny thing is that I could hit the 100-yard man with a slug from prone 100% of the time.
There you go. Yeah.
The ghost ring sights are good, but having a red dot sight in the gun's way better and way faster. During the afternoon session, I ran the course without a red dot, and it was noticeably slower for me. So I think it's great that you could have both options because the ghost ring sights work pretty well. The Fastfire 4 withstood all the abuse, and it had some cool shotgun reticle options, so it was pretty good for scattergat purposes. As I said earlier, this gun cycles like it's Lance Armstrong pumped up on whatever awesome, dope Lance Armstrong was pumped up on. It's fast. I mean, I don't really have much more to say about it other than this thing totally pumps. Recoil management. Here's a minor sticking point. While the company line says that this gun recoils the same as bigger or heavier guns, I'm not quite convinced. And I think everyone else who shot it agrees with me in that regard. In other words, we thought the 2-pound heavier Benelli M4 kicked less, which stands to reason because it's 2 pounds heavier. But for a shotgun as light as the 1301 is, it really did handle recoil well. And I think the trade-off of lighter weight for slightly heavier recoil was absolutely worth it. I could even operate the shotgun one-handed, as you can see in these injury drills, as well as this one time where my left ear pro actually fell out of my left ear. So I covered my left ear with one hand and I finished the course of fire using my dominant hand. That was kind of cool. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this gun, but as we do with every TFBTV video, time for the negatives, boys. One of the major downsides of the 1301 is the fact that it has very limited accessory availability, parts and accessories, at least as of right now. There's a company out there called Reeves Industries. Everybody thinks that's the best effing thing since sliced bread. For this gun, they make a bunch of accessories, including optics mounts, Magpul furniture adapters, other parts. However, they seem perpetually sold out of everything. And as I mentioned earlier, it was hard to even find the Nordic +2 shot extension, and when I did, I had to pay over retail for it. One other thing, not this gun's fault, but worth mentioning, if you go with the traditional straight stock instead of the pistol grip stock, if you don't move your thumb to the side of the stock when you fire slugs from prone, you will punch yourself in the face. I'm not kidding. Your thumb will come back and give you a little rope-a-dope whenever you're down there. So move that thumb over or get the pistol grip stock. Other than what else I've mentioned in this video, I guess the only other negative that bothered me about the 1301 is the fact that it used a plastic rear sight. Although it's not cheap plastic, and I don't know what is cheap plastic and I don't know what is expensive plastic, but whatever plastic this was, it was the expensive plastic and not the cheap plastic, if that makes sense. But it did shake loose after the first abusive day on the range. So we put some red Loctite on it, we tightened it up, and we had no problems after that. If you're not gonna swap out the rear sight, I'd say go ahead and Loctite it whenever you get this thing back from the FFL. In conclusion, while I'm not 100% sure that this is literally the best shotgun on the face of the earth, it's a strong contender, and I can conclude that dollar for dollar, it probably is the best shotgun you can buy right now. While the M4 is outstanding, it's also quite a bit more expensive, over $500, and it weighs a whopping 2 pounds more than this lightweight and easy to handle gun, which I thought was more ergonomic and easier to manipulate. It's reliable, it's got great ergos, great accessories from the factory, the ability to mount a red dot sight, good factory ghost ring sights, and just drop dead sexy. I'm sure Beretta is going to sell a ton of these after this video drops, and you know what? They deserve it because the 1301 is an outstanding shotgun. If you don't believe me, check some of the other reviews on the internet. Big shout out, by the way, to Chris at Lucky Gunner, who has no idea I'm doing this video. I'm just mentioning him because I saw his video and it was definitely better than this shitty video, so you might want to take a look at that too. Take a look at our stuff as well. It's okay, you know, subscribe. If you like our content, support us, Patreon or Subscribestar, patreon.com or subscribestar.com/TFBTV. We do this because we are viewer supported, but we're just glad you're watching. Take care.